Record on this computer. So, welcome everybody to Be Your Brilliance for December. Let's talk about sex, baby. Let's talk about
Let's talk about
you
you
and me
and
and
me.
everything else. And yeah, let's. What? So today's topic is sex, and we're still dating in conscious relationships, and um, kind of that whole cornucopia of things. But we want to get down and get dirty, and then get cleared and get cleaned and be squeaky clean and have fun. So, what what has been your issues? I want to the last time we focused more on dating, though we didn't. I don't think we finished it. So I want to bring in the sex with the dating. So it's kind of sex and dating. So what are some things that you want to look at, or questions that you have, or things that you want to change around sex and dating?
Well, I'll rip the band-aid off.
Hmm.
Um, Sometimes sex while dating sucks.
Only
It
sometimes?
sucks. Yeah, sometimes it sucks. And I'm always surprised by that.
Hmm.
And it's like this, like, I feel like they should know and they don't, but
No.
they think they do.
Right.
And I even remember, my first time, I was like, is that what I saved it for? Like, seriously? It's like, is that it?
Yeah.
And I'm like, like a Snicker bar and a cup of milk would have been a lot better than that. So it's like, so after binge watching, I told you I was ripping the band-aid off.
I love it.
So
Ma'am.
I'm just really curious about what it could be. Because, you used to watch movies back in the day, and then after the people would kiss, it would fade to the fireplace. And I was like, oh, this looks so magical. And it's like, this
That's
is
why
some
there was just nothing else interesting. It's like, let's just fade to the fireplace.
Yeah. So I am just curious about what really is possible with it. And how can you get like a 10 out of 10?
Good question. Good question. Well, it's interesting in that I had reached a point in my life where I had became aware, quote unquote. At the time, I used the word enlightened, I think, but was basically aware, and I realized that I had never explored sexuality, like
Mm-hmm.
almost never. I'd done it with one or two partners, but not a big deal, and there wasn't much to speak of. And I realized that there was a whole world out there. It's like, what is this sex thing? And I devoted probably about 5 years of my life to every
Research and development.
research and development. Yes, thank you. Around everything I could explore, from BDSM to plain vanilla and all these different things. And I had literally hundreds of partners in that time. And my the takeaway that I got was pretty much what you got. It's like that most people think they know what's going on. Most people don't. If you
Mm-hmm.
want, I'll give you the juicy shortcut. If you want somebody who does have a clue, start.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody's whistling for their dog. You can hit mute. Um, uh, you wanna aim for somebody who's exploring with tantra, Tantra.
Okay.
Now it can get
Mm-hmm.
they can get kind of weird into spiritual stuff too with the tantra, but um, those are people, like, as a generic group, that seem to go deeper, and they're looking for the depth of connection. And there's
Mm-hmm.
something in the depth of connection, and that they also seem to focus on skill, where the average person thinks, well, I've watched a porn video or two and, like, I have a clue, and they really don't. And to me,
Mm-hmm.
sex is a skill that gets developed over a long period of time, and especially with um, a consistent partner. It's hard to develop it with a lot of other partners. But for me, my interesting point of view is it's a numbers game. It's like, if you're just doing it without any intentionality around it and without any conscious focus, it's a numbers game. And so, out of any 100 people that I had sex with, there might have been 3 that felt like, wow, this was like really worth it, and it's worth going in again for that. The rest of them were like, thank you, it's been great, and bye. um, and it's like, it really is that rare to have people who have a personal connection, who are present in their body, are present with you, are sensitive to you, have this focus around nurturing and caring and playful, and there's like a package there that's worth engaging. Some of that is a numbers game because there's just so few people out there who do that. And what I learned is, or what my once I recognized that, it's like, okay, well, how can I use my gifts and capacities to stack the numbers game? It's like, how can I tune myself to the people who are going to be the greatest match for me? And for me, that's been asking questions. It's been about focusing online about Tantra and talking about conscious sexuality, which is going to automatically repel the people that you don't want to. And I also did a lot of online dating stuff. Most of my 80% of my partners were from online dating. And so a lot of what I played with is, how do you word an ad, and what images do you use, and how do you language things to attract the people that you want and repel the people that you don't want. And most people, when they're looking at finding a sex partner or dating, they're not thinking about repelling. The last thing they want to do is repel. The more experienced you get at this, you start to recognize, I really want to repel. Like, I want to sift through, like, I want to create an ad, or I want to be me so clearly and so cleanly that those who don't resonate with that get it really square in the face right off the bat. And I'm not messing around. I'm not playing games with it. It's like that, for me, has been the shortcut to how do you play the numbers game and get people who are, if sex is a focus for you. And it may not be. It may not be an issue, and it's not a right or wrong about it. It's like, there have been times in my life where sex was the most important element in my relationship, and there are times where sex, like, I could care less. Like, it so totally is not relevant. And so it's not, but even for dating, to me, the same rules apply. You want to repel the people you don't want, and you want to figure out what it is you are looking for, and how do I draw those people in terms of intentionality. How can I ask questions? Like, what partners can I draw to me that will be nurturing and supportive for this physical body? And receive. And what partners can I draw that are experienced in life, experienced in sex, that would be fun to play with for me and my body? And receive. And what does any of that bring up?
What if you're repelling too many partners? Or in terms of dating, it seems like it's the opposite. So I'm kind of repelling everybody instead of attracting.
Okay, so without playing with the energy of that, and I just addressed that directly, for me it's like, how much does your authentic body want a relationship? How much does your authentic being want a relationship? Like, if you're not creating a relationship, you probably don't want one on some level. But it gets tangly. It's like, how much is it that you, the authentic body, want one? How much is it you, the authentic being, want one? And how much is it something else wants one?
Oh, yeah, more on something else.
Yeah. Yeah. And so what are all the something else's that are demanding, asking for a relationship and then making you wrong for it?
Yeah.
So you see, it's like you're not necessarily desiring it, so interference comes in and desires it on your behalf, and then you put yourself down because you're not. You know, you get the pattern? So
Yeah.
what are all the entities, demons, creatures, coalition, aliens, reptilians, parasitics, beings, doings, gods, non-contributive energies and frequencies, all their networks, high civilizations, universes, all their customers, clients. Woo! Shareholders, stockholders, board of directors. Wow. And what is everything that you agreed you and the planet agreed you would do for them, they agreed they would do for you? Was the benefit of engaging, not the benefit of value? Can we just try and create all that?
Yes,
I choose that. Resend, revoke, recant, reclaim, renounce, just trying to create null, void, null, void, null, void, null, void. And can we banish all those energies?
Yes, I choose that.
Out. Banish it.
Out.
Including all their
beings.
networks, hives, civilizations, universes, customers, clients, shareholders, stockholders, board of directors, all. Out. Resend, revoke, recant, reclaim, bear, plastic, by null, void, null, void. Wow. Wow. So what is all the unknowable, unspeakable, unseeable, untouchable, undetectable, unconsciousness, anti-consciousness, fog, disinformation, cloaking, Wernicke, span, booby traps, covert, unseen, unacknowledged, undisclosed energy and frequencies around all this? Oh, can we bulldoze?
Yes, I choose that.
And let's add. And what is everything you decided sex and dating or having a sexual partner, having a intimate partner means that it doesn't mean? Wow. And all in the pile. And what is everything you decided that having a sexual partner, intimate partner, doesn't mean that it actually does mean? Whew. And in the pile. Encapsulate. And everything from down below. And then behind. And up above. Way out front. From the left, from the right. Inside, outside. Everything remaining. All in the pile. And body, planet, let that go. Not you, not yours, not you, not yours, not yours, not yours. Never was yours, never was yours, never was yours, never was yours. Wow. And can we shrink all that stuff down to less than nothing?
Yes, I choose that.
I choose that. Boo! Incinerate. Percent of okay, can't reclaim. Out. Bash X. Wow. So, Truth, how much do you, let's for everybody, so Truth, how much does your body want want a intimate relationship? Let me define it. How much does your body want a relationship of some kind? That's something beyond friendship. I'm going to define it that way. How much does your body want a relationship beyond friendship? How much does your body want an intimate or sexual relationship? How much does your body want to not necessarily have a relationship but want to explore sexuality? Like no strings attached kind of stuff? And how much is it something else? And what do y'all notice?
What's all the unknowable?
What is all the unknowable, unspeakable, unseeable, untouchable, undetectable, unconsciousness, anti-consciousness, energy fog, disinformation, cloaking, Wernicke, span, booby traps, covert, unseen, unacknowledged, undisclosed energies and frequencies around all this? And can we put all that in the pile?
Yes, I choose that.
And what are all the decisions, judgments, conclusions, computations we have around all this?
Yeah.
And all the projections, expectations, rejections, separations we have around all this?
Oh.
Wow. And what is all the form, structure, significance we have around all this? Wow. And all in the pile. And encapsulate. And let's go down the list here. And so what is everything that you're aligning and agreeing with? Oh, no, let's do it separate. Yeah, so let's just put all this stuff in the pile. And everything from down below, back behind, up above, way up front, left, right, inside, outside, everything remaining. Body, planet, let that go, not you, not yours. Not you, not yours. Let it go, let it go, let it go. Never was yours, never was yours. Let it go, let it go, let it go, let it go. Whew. And can we shrink all that down to less than nothing?
Yes,
I choose that. Boo! Incinerate. Resend, vote, can't reclaim, vaporize. Out, bash, out, bash, out, bash, bash. Wow. And so let's look at, so what is all the split polarity that we have around sex and relationships? Oh, hi there. So, so if we start with body first, we start with being first. Let's start with being. So being, where's everywhere you're aligning and agreeing with? You know what? There's a lot of interference here. What are all the entities, demonics, creatures, coalition, aliens, reptilians, parasitics, beings, twins, gods, non-contributive energies and frequencies, all their networks, hives, civilizations, universes, all their customers, clients, shareholders, stockholders, board of directors. Pre-tag, pre-caps, all. Was everything we and the planet agreed we do for them, they agreed they would do for us? Was the benefit of value of engaging them, not the benefit of value? Can we just try and create all that?
Yes, I choose that.
I choose that. Rescind, vote, can't reclaim, vaporize, and can we banish all these energies?
Yes, I choose that.
I choose that. Out.
Out. All bodies, beings, realities, dimensions, time streams, universes, and virtual and singular worlds. Out. Banish, vanquish, banish, vanquish, banish, vanquish, banish, vanquish.
So, being, what is everything that you're aligning and agreeing with around sex? I'll just do sex first. Around sex? Wow. And where's every resisting and reacting? What is everything you're resisting and reacting to around sex?
Yeah.
And what is everywhere that we're defending? What is everything we're defending for around sex? What is everything we're defending against around sex? Wow. And what is everything that we're righteous for around sex? Wow. Feel it? It's like, And what is everything that we're righteous against around sex? And there's another, and can we put all that in the pile?
Yes, I choose that.
And everything from down below, back behind, above, way up, left, right, inside, outside, everything remaining, all in the pile. Body, planet, let that go. Not you, not you, not yours, not you, not yours. Let it go, let it go. Never was yours, never was yours, never was yours. Woo! And can we shrink all that stuff down?
Yes, I choose that.
Yeah, I choose that. Incinerate. And all the entities, demons, creatures, coalition, aliens, just grab them all and out.
Yeah.
Out. Finish, vanquish.
I'm tired of saying those words, so it's about time to find other words that are shorter.
Yeah.
So that's kind of how it works. I start to find something different. I'm like, I'm tired of saying all those stupid words. We're gonna do something else. So what I noticed here, and we'll do body next, but as I kind of did this whole process of exploring, like, just the whole field of sexuality and who are the players and who are the energies, you noticed all the righteous four. So there are energies on the planet who their sole job is to scream at you and try to harass you to have sex. That's what they do. Like, they get paid for that. Like, their clients, their shareholders need you to have sex, and so they just impress upon your reality to get you to have sex. Then there are the opposite ones.
Oh my God.
That are there that impress upon your reality to not have sex. They're constant. So allow yourself to perceive all of the manipulators in your reality that are encouraging you or trying to manipulate you to have sex. All of those. And pre-tag, pre-caps it all, freeze, tap down, trace, test, scan, ideal. And allow yourself to perceive what are all their networks, hives, civilizations, universes. Not so much. Watch this one. All their customers, clients, shareholders, stockholders, boards of directors. It's a business. Yeah. Pre-tag, pre-caps it all. Freeze, tap down, freeze, tap down, freeze, tap down, freeze. And can we banish all these energies from all of our universes?
Yes, I choose that.
Out. Banish. And everything that the planet agreed it would do for them, they agreed they would do for the planet, was the benefit of value, not the benefit of value. And everything you agreed you would do for them, they agreed they would do for you. Can we just try and create all that?
Yes,
I choose that. Rescind, vote, you can't reclaim, vaporize. Because I've had conscious dialogues with them where they're like, oh no, you want to have sex. I'm like, well, no, you want me to have sex. No, you want to have sex. It's like, well, what are you going to give me if I have sex? Like, and they're totally prepared to do that. Like, they even bargain with you. What are all the bargains that have ever been struck to try to get you to have sex? You feel that? And can we destroy and create all those agreements to your advantage?
Yes.
Yeah,
that.
to send, revoke, can't reclaim, renounce, destroy and create, null, void, null, void, null, void, null, void, null, void, null. And this includes sex with another person, includes masturbating, it includes thinking about it, all of it. Like, there's the full gamut of them. So allow yourself to perceive what are all the manipulators or invaders that seek to get you to not have sex.
Yeah.
Whoa. Wow. There's more of those.
Yeah. They know my mother.
They're all mine.
No.
They're more dense too. I don't know if you notice, like,
Yes.
these are like
Yeah.
they're really dense, they're heavy, and for me they have a religious connotation
Yes.
to them.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, it's
Yes.
fascinating.
Yes.
It's totally
Get them
amazing.
out of here.
Yeah, no, these we're gonna keep. These are good to have. Pre-tag, pre-encapsulate all free stop down trade trace Canada, and all their networks, highest civilizations, universe, and all their customers, clients, shareholders, stockholders, board of directors. Pre-tag, pre-encapsulate all. And what is everything you and the planet agreed you would do for them? They agreed they would do for you. What's the benefit of engaging them?
That's great.
Wow. And how
Yeah.
twisted is that? And everything is not the benefit of engaging them?
Woo.
Holy shit. And can we destroy and create all of those agreements?
Yes,
Yeah,
I
I
choose
choose
that.
that.
Resend, revoke,
Yeah.
can't claim, bright, bright, second, null, void, null, void, null, void, null, void, null, void, null, void. And can we banish all these energies and all their networks, hive civilizations, universes, and allow yourself to perceive what are all their customers, clients, shareholders, stockholders, boards of directors?
Oh.
It's not so much business. Let's look at the other one. What are all their networks, hives, civilizations? Oh, universes? So those seem to use the other, like the older religion seems to use like the old network kind of thing. And so pre-tag, pre-encapsulate, all those. And where were we, the infinite being, when all these energies were created, assembled, modified, gilded? Wow, yuck. At their inception, insertion, creation, copy, clone, pre-tag, pre-encapsulate, freeze, tap down, trace, scan, yuck. And can we banish all that?
Yes, I
I
choose
choose that.
it.
And out.
Now.
Banish it.
Out,
Banish it.
extinguish,
Out.
extinguish.
For the entire planet. Out. Banish it.
Yeah.
Out. And all its inhabitants. Banish it. Banish it. Banish it. Banish it. Banish it. Out. Banish it. Wow. It got quieter.
Yay.
Imagine that. It got quieter. And so let's ask body. Now that we can hear what's going on. So, body, what is everything that you're aligning and agreeing with around sex?
Yeah.
Now notice what side body is predominant on. And body, what is everything that you're resisting and reacting to around sex? And body, what is everything that you're defending for around sex? And body, what is everything you're defending against around sex?
Oh.
And body, what is everything that you're righteous for around sex? And body, what is everything that you're righteous against around sex? Wow. And can we put all that in the pile? Bodies.
Yes, I would choose that.
Yeah, I choose that.
Yeah.
And body, planet, let that go. Not you, not yours. Not you, not yours. None of that's yours. None of that's yours. Let it go. Let it go. All of it. Let it go. None of that's yours. None of that's yours. Never was yours. Never was yours. Let it go. Let it go. Let it go. Let it go. Yeah. None of that's yours. None of that's yours. And everything from down below, in the pile, back behind, up above. Yeah. Way out front, from the left, from the right, inside, outside, everything. All in the pile, and body, planet, let that go. Not you, not yours. Never was yours. Never was yours. Let it go. 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 Wow. There we go. Let it go. None of that's yours. Never was yours. Never was yours. Never was yours. Never. And everything remaining. And wait for it. Body, can we shrink that down to less than nothing?
Yes, I choose that now.
Yeah. So body responds usually a little bit slower. Being is like, bam. Body is like, it kind of bubbles up, it surfaces. And so let's shrink that down. Resend invoke, you can't reclaim BYB-Sex bite. Oh, no void, no void, no void, no void, no void, no. So now, while it varies for different people here, what I noticed as a whole for the group is bodies were more aligning and agreeing, and beings were more resisting and reacting. And what I noticed personally is that bodies look at the experience of it, and they don't necessarily look at the tangles of it. Beings look at the tangles of it and the weird energies and just the stupid shit that gets involved. And like the beings are, if I were to have gone at it from a being standpoint, it would have been like, fuck no, I ain't doing any of that shit. And I did that for a big chunk of my life. Fuck no, I'm not getting involved in that. It's just weird shit. I ain't going there. And then I decided the easiest way to do this is to dive in. I'm just going to dive in and just keep exploring and clearing and exploring and clearing. And I found that my body, I'll speak for me, my body was more interested in it. My being was less interested in it until I made it a conscious exploration. Like, I choose to explore this as an infinite being. Then we were both on the same side, and then it got easier. But often, body and being aren't necessarily on the same side of it. So what does all this bring up for anybody? What do you notice about you?
For me, it is really twisty-turny. I'm still really kind of tangled up over all of this, to be honest. It feels really
Yes, it
no,
does.
no.
Yes, it does.
Oh my God, make it stop. Ah!
Yep. And some of that is, how do I want to say it? When I engage sexuality with other people, I'm aware that that's part of the package that comes along with it, to more or less degree. And it's just like, it's like when you go delve into a new topic, and it's like, you're going to get in the shit because it's shit. Like, it just is like that. But you kind of have fun through the process of that. It's kind of one of those deals. Like, if you're aware that, there's going to be funky stuff in there, and I'm going to consciously deal with that, and I'm going to clear it, and I'm going to aim to keep it as clean as I can and as conscious as I can. It's a little bit easier. But I want to take it back to the original question that I asked before we started clearing. You may have a different... let's see what the read is now. So, truth... Bodies, so I'm just talking to bodies, being just kind of hang out. We're not going to ask you yet. Truth, bodies, how much would you like to have a sexual partner? How much would you like to have something else?
Receive.
And just perceive which one of those two is lighter for you. Is body more inclined to want a sexual partner, or is body more inclined to want something else?
Mine wants something else.
Okay. Anybody else?
I can't tell, and I don't know why. I know that's a cop-out. Like, I don't know.
So is it that you can't tell, or something else can't tell?
Truth is, it's something else can't tell. Yeah, it's something else.
Yeah. And so how much is it your local point of view, and how much is it a distant or remote point of view?
Truth is that I don't know.
Yeah.
How much is that a local point of view? Oh, truth is it a local point of view that I don't know. Oh God, I'm not getting anything. I don't understand.
Check the other side.
That's weird.
Yeah, check the other side. How much is it local? How much is it?
How much is it local?
Distant.
It's distant. I just heard that it's distant.
Yep, pre-tag, pre-encapsulate all free step-down tracer. And all their networks, hive civilizations, universes, and all their customers, client, there you go. Free step-down tracer scan ideal. Wow. And can we banish all those?
Yes, I choose
this.
that.
And, yes, I choose that now.
now.
Banish
Thank
section.
you.
And
Out,
what is
banish,
everything
vanquish.
you agreed? You and the planet agreed to do for them. They agreed to do for you. Was the benefit or value of engaging them, not the benefit or value? Can we destroy and create all that?
Yes,
Yes,
I
Yeah,
choose
choose
that.
resend, invoke, can't
Wow.
reclaim, vaporize, sick, out, no void, no out, banish, vanquish, out, banish.
Banish,
There you
vanquish.
go.
Out, out,
Yep.
out.
Yep.
Thank you. Wow, that was massive.
When you can't tell, there's something else in there, or when you get an answer that just is like something doesn't seem right about this. You know, it's like when the truth is just clear. When you know, you know. When you don't know, there's something else in there messing with it. That's my experience with it.
No, that's helpful. That freed up a lot of stuff. Thank you.
Cool.
I felt it.
Yeah, cool.
Thank you.
So, Truth, how much is your body interested in being sexual? Let me see. Sexual to your advantage. I can feel part of the tangle is a lack of defining. Sexual to your advantage.
Yes.
How much is your body interested in something else to your advantage?
Ooh. I got a no on that. I got a no on the something else.
Okay,
on the something else?
Yeah.
Okay.
Anybody else?
Okay.
What did you get?
My body is like, yep.
Yeah. When I defined it different, there was a wonk around the way that was originally worded. Yeah.
I got something else.
Cool. Yeah.
I got something else. Yeah.
Yeah, that feels light.
Yeah.
Anybody else?
I got something else still too.
Yeah, it feels wobbly. Say the other one.
My body wants a sexual relationship. That's to my local advantage.
Now that feels light, dear. To me, out here.
Well, I'm just messing around then.
That feels light. So how much is that a local no, and how much is that a distant or remote no?
Oh, it's a remote no.
Pre-tag, pre-caps at all, freeze, top-down, trace, test, scan, all, and all their networks, hive, civilizations, universes, and all their customers, clients, shareholders, stockholders, board, yeah, all those. Right there, you got them. Pre-tag, pre-caps at all, freeze, top-down, trace. Was everything you and the planet agreed to do for them, they agreed they would do for you? What's the benefit of engaging them, not the benefit of value? Can we just try and create all that?
Yes.
Yeah,
I choose that.
You can't reclaim vaporize. And can we banish all these energies?
Yeah.
Yes, I choose that.
Out,
that now.
out, banish, you mess with me, you're gonna be banished. Out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I love it. Anybody else? What did you get?
I got the my body wanted a sexual relationship.
Yeah, there's wobble in that. Say the other one.
Something else. My body wants something else.
That feels lighter, and that has less wobble to it.
I think, but to me, it's maybe because I have so much sadness when it comes to the sexual body that
So let me pause you.
Oh,
So how much
yeah.
does that sadness belong to you locally, and how much does that sadness belong to something else at a distance or foreign?
it sounds like it feels like a distant.
Yeah. So allow yourself to perceive all the distant or foreign energies of that sadness. Wow. Yeah. Pre-tag, pre-encapsulate all, freeze, tap down, trace, test, scan it, and allow yourself to perceive all the deep wells of sadness or sadness cores. Yeah, all that. And everything down below that and entangled and entwined with all that and everything below that and below that and below that and below that and kind of below and to the left, below, and in front of that and in front of that, in front of that, in front of that, in front of that. Yeah. And down, and all that. Wow. And can we put all that in the pile?
Yes, I choose
Yeah,
that.
Yes, choose that now.
And encapsulate and everything from down below, back behind, up above, way up front, from the left, from the right, inside, outside, everything remaining, all in the pile. And body planet, let that go. Not you, not yours. Never was yours, never was yours, never was yours. Let it go, let it go, let it go, let it go, let it go. Wow. Let it go, let it go, let it go. Wow. And what are all that entities, demonics, creatures, coalition aliens connected to all this stuff? Freeze, step down, freeze, step down, freeze. Trace, scan, Adele. Where were we when they were created, assembled, modified, gilded, sourced at their inception, insertion, creation, copy, clone, pre-tag, print capset, all freeze, step down, trace, scan, Adele. So what is everything we agreed we'd do for we and the planet agreed we'd do for them? They agreed they would do for us. Was the benefit of engaging them, not the benefit of value? Whoa! Can we just try and create all that?
Yes,
I
choose
that
now.
Send revoke, you can't reclaim, vaporize, null, void, null, void, null, void, null, void. And can we banish all these energies?
Yes,
I
choose that now.
Banish it. Out, 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 banish it. Oh, wow. Wow. There's a you can have these things that are like it's like the essence of this one had like the frequency of like despair, sadness, hopelessness, despair. I would call it despair. And it's like a highly compressed, it's like if when you tap into it, feels like a bottomless well of something, and you can have it for anything: evil, darkness, sadness, anger, and it feels just like a bottomless. Like if you try to travel down and find the bottom of it, it feels bottomless. It's like a deep well of infinite. You can get like kind of what is all the unknowable, unspeakable, unseeable, untouchable, undetectable, unconsciousness, anti-consciousness, energy fog, disinformation, cloaking, Wernicke's man's booby traps, covert, unseen, unacknowledged, undisclosed energy and frequencies around all this? Ooh, we can put all that in the pile.
Yes, I choose that now.
Everything from down below, back behind, up above, way up front, left, right, inside, outside, everything remaining. And can we shrink all that stuff down to less than nothing?
Yes,
I
choose
choose
that now.
I choose that.
Vaporize. It's like, how do you mess with a body that's mastered the processing of emotions? Like they get that. Well, I just feel it and I just travel it down, and then once it's just resolved and it's just gone. Well, how do you fuck with that? Well, you embed in the body or in the being sometimes, but usually it's the body thing, like a foreign particle that is the essence of sadness or the essence of regret or the essence of something. And it feels like this deep well that goes forever and ever and ever and ever, and there's no bottomless, like a bottomless pit. And it often has entities associated with it to give it personality. And there's usually disguised memory. So what are the disguised memory implants around all this?
Receive.
Or disguised memory implants around this or any other topics or any of the other topics we've engaged? What are the disguised memory implants around sex, sexuality, around dating, relationships? Oh, there's none of those. None at all. No. And bulldoze in the pile, and everything from down below, back behind, way up front, or up top. Yuck. Way up front, from the left, from the right, inside, outside, everything remaining on the pile. Body, planet, let those go. Not you, not yours. Never was yours, never was yours, never was yours, never was yours. Let it go, let it go, let it go, let it go, let it go. Whew. And let's grab a univac, just a universal vacuum. It's like a black hole on a shop vac hose, and suck all those up. And vacuum all around you. All the places where those are stored, vacuum up all the racks and storage units and everything that they touch. Just vacuum all that up. It was a lot of above, too.
Yes, it was.
Make sure everything's squeaky clean. And then, thank you, vacuum. Wow. Wow. So if you ever find pretty much any emotion, but those are the ones that I found the most, that feel like they're just bottomless and they don't seem to go away, that's kind of how I go about those. Once you understand what that is, it's like, oh yeah, you can just take that core of something and just out. Like, it doesn't belong here in this body. It may belong somewhere in the universe or not, but it does not belong in this body. It's like, out. So, the questions?
Jaden, with all the entities, does this clearing include stories and agendas? I just feel like I can just see all the stories that happened and weird energies around sex.
So allow yourself to perceive all the stories, all the agendas. Often those are disguised memory implants when you have the stories. So how much are they still there, or how much did you notice they left?
Well, they feel like they're leaving. I just wanted to bring that up as a position to
cool. So what are all the stories that we have around sex and dating? All the patterns, all the this is what's true about it that we have. What are all the decisions, judgments, conclusions, computations, projections, expectations, rejections, separations, form, structure, significance, and all in the pile? Wow. And what does everything you decided all those stories mean that they don't actually mean? Whoa. And all in the pile? And what does everything you decided those stories don't mean that they actually do mean? Wow. And can we put those in a pile?
Yes, I choose that.
Choose that. And everything from down below, back behind, up above, back from the left, from the right, inside, outside, everything remaining, all in the pile. And body, planet, let those go. Not you, not yours, not you, not yours. Let it go, let it go, let it go, let it go. Never was yours, never was yours, never was yours, never was yours. And so it's like, for me, what I noticed when I look at, like, consciously monitor how things have worked in my life, there've been these manipulators that show up, that hang out, kind of weaseled their way in or whatever, and then they hang out and they have a sex positive or sex negative point of view. Generally speaking, they want some polarity around you. They want you to engage polarity of some kind. And so, like, you'll be watching something in a movie, or you'll be watching something, somebody will make a comment about something, somebody will talk about abstinence, and the sex negative ones will go, yeah, right, see, that's it right there. And it'll keep trying to hammer that point of view, try to keep making that point of view seem more real and true to you. And I've explored with abstinence, totally. And, like, yeah, okay, it's an interesting thing to explore with, and there's other things. It's like having a life. I often equate when you the tangle around this reality around sex. If you take the word sex out and put food in, it changes it. To body, sex, and food, like, whatever. It's just kind of a thing. But it's like, if you think about it, it's like, well, you look at the rules around food. Well, this is how we have sex. Well, this is how we have food. Like, you have to eat it this one way, or you have to eat this one thing. It's like, no, I like a variety of foods. Okay, well, sex needs to be one thing. Well, no, I like a variety of sexual expressions. It's like, you could take, if you want to really clean house around sex, like really strip it down, and this is what I did. It's like, you want to look at all your points of view about sex and compare it to food. Like, take whatever the topic is, pop the word sex out, put food in there, and if it still works. Like, it's like, well, let's look at sex. I can only have sex with the one partner that I'm bonded to, or that is my life partner. Okay?
That's my point of view, and that's so frustrating. Yeah.
Okay. So that felt heavy when you said that, but so now let me give you some contrast. Now put food in there. I can only eat food with my one life partner that I'm bonded with.
Yeah, that's weird.
Right?
That's weird.
So
Yeah.
that's an awesome tool for comparing what are all the points of view that you have around, and this reality piles them on from the day you're born, from the day you're conceived. You can feel the pressures for sex and the pressures against sex. Probably at conception, you probably felt, oh man, that's all that weird ass shit was going on up there. And here am I. Okay, what was all that? Like right off the bat, you're dealing with all these polarities. Like you're born into all that kind of funky stuff. Like it's embedded in the planet. So where do you want to go with all of this? Because that's a potential big can of worms.
Do we have agreements? Like, have we agreed to suffer through sex?
Well, sure.
It was our quest.
Yeah. So what?
We have bindings.
Yeah. So bindings, they can be fun too. No, they're different. So what are all the agreements you have around? Wow, there's just so many.
Not receiving joy with sex.
Okay, around not receiving joy with sex. Around what are all the agreements you have around having sex?
The appropriateness of it or not appropriateness of it.
Yes.
Sex?
Oh my God.
Yeah.
What are all the agreements you have around not having sex? Or waiting until some condition is met before you have sex?
Yes. That
yes.
one.
Whoa, okay. Let's put all that
There's
in the
my
pile.
mama again.
Yeah, in the pile. And her mama, and her mama, and her mama, and her mama. All in the pile. Wow.
Welcome to the South, baby.
Yep, and everything from down below, and back behind, and up above, and way out front, and from the left, and from the right. All in the pile, all in the pile. Everything from inside, all in the pile. And holy shit. And Body Planet, let that go. Not you, not yours, not you, not yours. Never was yours, never was yours. Let it go, let it go, let it go, let it go, let it go. Wow. And Truth, can we destroy and create all those agreements?
Yes, I choose that.
I choose that.
Hey.
Resend, revoke, recant, reclaim, renounce, denounce, destroy and create, make null and void, null, void, null, void, null, void, null, void, null, void, null. And can we shrink all that stuff down to less than nothing?
Yes, I choose that. Yes, I choose that.
Incinerate. Resend, book. Banishing. Wow. So what other agreements would we have around sex?
What about the fairy tales?
Okay. One person try it. Just repeat it again.
You go. She said fairy tales.
Fairy tales. Oh, okay.
Fairy tales.
The woman's role, like what the woman is supposed to do.
Yep. So what are all the agreements you have around those fairy tales? Whoa. And what are all the fantasy realities you have? Whoa. So fantasy reality is like a real reality, but it's a synthetic one where the rules are different. So you can have a fantasy reality. A lot of people create them around relationships where it's like, oh, my partner is like this, and they're always like that, and they're like this, and that's in that fantasy reality bubble, and they keep trying to fit their partner into the bubble, and the partner rarely ever goes in the bubble. But you can also have, I used to do that a lot when I was not being intimate and sexual with other people. I'd create these fantasy realities about what it would be like to have this wonderful sexual relationship and this wonderful partner. And then all of the demons and weird shit moved into that reality, and then they kept sabotaging it, and it was like, wow. So they'll even get players that'll move into your fantasy reality. So what are all the fantasy realities that you have?
Steve.
And can we put all that?
Yes, I choose
yes,
that.
I choose that.
I choose that now.
And encapsulate. And everything from down below. Back behind, up above, up front, from the left, from the right. Body Planet, let those go. Not you, not yours, not you, not yours. Let it go, let it go. Never was yours, never was yours, never was yours, never was yours. And what are all the remaining oaths, vows, commitments, communities, fealties, swearings, promises, contracts. Contracts. Wow, man. And what are all the entry, re-entry agreements, all the divine golden billion trillion agreements, all the safety protection clauses, all the allegiances, alliances, loyalties, diplomatic relations. Wow. And can we destroy and create all these agreements?
Yes, I choose that.
Resend, revoke, recant, reclaim, renounce, denounce, destroy and create, make null and void, 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 null and void. And can we shrink all that stuff down to less than nothing?
Yes, I choose that.
Yeah, I choose that.
And that definitely included the planet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Paper, I think by null void, null void. The other thing that brings up for me is the concept. So there was a change in the last. I'm just going to generically say 100, 150 years on this planet of what was the purpose of a relationship and what was the purpose of sex. So, and the new thing here is about like partnership, pleasure, having a family. No, about partnership, pleasure, about having like a good life kind of thing. How much back 150 years ago was sex and relationship about having pleasure and having a good life, and how much of it was a contractual relationship?
Contractual.
Like it was by contract. Back then it was more about, well, this family and that family, like how do we build our estate? How do we build our status? Well, we merge with a family that has a higher status. So sex was about bringing together families. It was more about a contractual relationship. Like you've heard about the concept of not signed. What do they call them? Arranged marriages. And it seems really crude to us, or at least in a Western culture. It's like, ooh, that's really crude. But way back when, that was a polite way of saying this is an agreement we have. We're going to bring these two families together for some purpose that's going to benefit both families in some way. And that's why the whole concept of having sex out of that contract got kind of screwy. It's like, although there was times where, so I just have to perceive all the times in the past where it was okay to have sex. There was sex that you had for pleasure, and there was sex that you had for contract.
Right.
Man, that brings up weird-ass energy. I just have to perceive all the points of view and agreements you have around sex or relationship for contract, or for arranged, or that are arranged, or that are strategic.
Okay.
You feel how funky, weird, like just...
Yeah.
Wow.
That is not clean.
Yeah, and can we put all that in the pile?
Yes.
Yes,
Yeah,
I choose that.
And encapsulate and everything from down below and back behind. Actually, let me add more. What is all the unknowable, unspeakable, unseeable, untouchable, undetectable, unconsciousness, anti-consciousness, energy fog, disinformation cloaking, Wernicke spans, booby chaps, covert, unseen, unacknowledged, undisclosed energies and frequencies around this or any of the other things?
Yeah.
Wow. And can we put all that in the pile?
Yes, I choose
I choose that. Yeah.
And where's everybody that we're aligning and agreeing? No, what is everything that we've decided that having a relationship based on contract or arranged marriage? Write that down. Arranged marriage. What is everything we decided that means that it doesn't actually mean? All in the pile. And what is everything we decided that having an arranged marriage or contractual arrangement doesn't mean that it actually does mean? And can we put all that in the pile?
Yes, I choose
that. No.
And what is everything that we're aligning and agreeing with around all that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what is everything we're resisting and reacting to?
Yes.
What is everything we're defending for around this?
Ooh.
And everything we're defending against around this? Everything we're righteous for around this?
Yeah.
Everything we're righteous against around this? Wow. And can we put all that in the pile?
Yes, I choose that.
I choose that.
And encapsulate. And everything from down below, and back behind, and up above, way up front, from the left, from the right, inside, outside, everything remaining, all in the pile. And body planet, let that go, not you, not yours, not you, not yours, let it go, 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 let it go. Wow. Wow. And can we shrink all this stuff down to less than nothing?
I choose
I
that.
choose
I choose
that.
that.
Now.
Incinerate. We're sending back. You can't reclaim that. Vaporize, think about banishing, expansion. And what are all the entities, the monsters, creatures, coalition, aliens, reptilians, parasitics, beings, doings, gods, and other non-contributive energies and frequencies, and other networks, hive civilizations, universes, customers, clients, shareholders, stockholders, board of directors. Wow. Including archons and light beings and all that. Pre-tag, print caps. Light beings like to play in this field. And can we... what is everything we and the planet agreed we'd do for them? They agreed they would do for us. What's the benefit of engaging them? Not the benefit of value. Can we do try and create all of that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I choose
that.
that. Resend, evoke, you can't reclaim vapor. I say, no, wait, no, wait, no, wait, no. And can we banish all these energies?
Yes.
Yeah, I choose that.
Out.
Now.
Out. Finish. Vanquish. Banish.
Banish. Out. Whole planet. Out. Banish. Out. Banish. Out. Banish. Wow. And so it's funny in my modern day state of awareness when people go, yeah, I don't understand why I have such difficulty with relationships. I can only laugh. Like, I'm like, how can you not? How can you not be all tangled up in relationships? Like when I noticed even way back when, and think back on times when you've had partners, even like a date or something. Like how often do you find yourself energetically or on some level you hear these energies about, well, I don't know if they're like at my level, and that's like socioeconomic level, or like, well, I'm not sure about their family. Like you get to know their family, you're like, well, what will my family think about that? And like, is that lowering the status of our family? And it's like, whoa, where does all that come from? Well, ta-da! Welcome to the planet! Yay! So anytime you're being intimate or sexual or dating, relationship, all this stuff shows up. It's the baggage that comes along with the dance. It's one of my interesting point of view, it's one of the reasons this reality promotes relationships so strongly. Like why it's Disney and why all the movies and like they always put a thread there about falling in love and blah 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 and blah blah blah, because that as soon as you choose that, you're engaging all of these energies. What does that do to the infinite being?
Drives them crazy.
Exactly. Tangles you into a zillion knots, and there's so much of it. It's like, wow, how can I ever get out of this or untangle all of it? Well, I'm here to tell you it's possible, but it's not always easy. And what else is possible? Like, how can we change that for the whole planet and receive?
Receive.
Receive.
Well, a lot of it has to do with all the romance novels and the theories of romance.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And so for me, a lot of that is, again, acculturation to get you to bind into these twisted paradigms of sexuality that don't work for you, and it just tangles your ass into a knot, and now you're till death do you part with somebody that you don't particularly like anymore and don't want to have sex with anymore and just wish you wouldn't even be with anymore, but you're stuck with them. And that's what a lot of people find themselves in. They're somebody that they don't like anymore. They're not their friend. They just as soon not spend time with them, and they're stuck with that person. And that's what this reality, that's my interesting point of view. The end result this reality is seeking to create is something that binds you down like that. Sounds
that
fun,
sounds
doesn't
like fun.
it?
Wow.
All right, yeah. I want that. Can I have some of that, please? Please?
You can have my share.
So much fun.
Yeah.
So what else is possible?
So,
What else is
and what else is possible? And receive.
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 See, now body navigates around a lot of that. It's just kind of present with a lot, but it also gets snared in a lot of it too. So it's like, but being perceives all of this crap, and it's not. How do I want to say it? I'm going to put it in negative. It's not unwise to avoid relationships if you're looking for a simpler life.
Right.
Okay.
Unless you want to become a master clearer.
Unless you're looking for a challenge and you're like, I'm up for a challenge. Let's do this. Yeah. That's almost the attitude that you need to get to a place where you can have a conscious relationship that's not tangly ass.
Mm-hmm.
My interest, again, I'm stepping in limitation when I say that, and again, it's what else is possible. But there's such a mass of it that more often than not, you're going to be confronting those energies, whether you have them, your partner has them, the interference that you have. So again, there's you, the infinite being, there's you, the body, and then there's the interference that messes around with you and your body. Okay? And then there's your partner, their infinite being, all their viewpoints, their body, all their baggage, and the interference that messes with them. That's a relationship right there. Right there. All those
Jesus,
players.
no wonder they never work.
It's amazing that they work at all. Why is it that there are so few relationships that you look at that you're like, that's incredible. How do they do that? Because all those players are there. All of that stuff is co-creating in the relationship, and all of it is trying to get its point of view and trying to get its thing and trying to get this partner convinced of this and this partner convinced of that and this and that and blah. And you're like, I want a relationship.
Advertising.
Say that. Oh yeah, the advertising pushes all of it. They're part of the machine that promotes that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it just seems like it should be a for creator beings in this reality. If you're creating outside of this reality, I get that like the rule book that we're following or trying to follow is wrong, but I also get that there's something else. But I get that we get stuck because we're trying to do it the traditional way.
Exactly.
So what's with that?
Yeah, what is with that?
Give me some of that, James Fox.
So for me, I love it. I love your spunk. It's so juicy. I love it. It's a spark. Yeah. So for me, I got all excited about the spunk and spark, and I lost it. What was the topic again? I'm sorry.
Well, we're creator beings. It's like we're trying to follow this rule book that's just not for us.
Yeah. So that's the whole trick there. As long as you're trying to follow any of the rules and paradigms of this reality, you're playing that manipulated game that's designed to tangle you into a knot. When you start to play your game and do what works for you to your local advantage and don't allow yourself to get snagged by any of those, and it's like Velcro, or it's like those sticky fly traps.
Ew.
Yeah, you know, those things that try to catch those twirly things where the flies get stuck on them. It's like that stuff. Like, it wants you to stick to it, but that's where you as the infinite being go, no, I'm here to experience this, whatever this is, whatever you and your body desire, and I'm not going to engage any of those rules. So it's like when my partner goes, yeah, you know, we should get married. I'm like, yeah, how do I address that? Okay, and how I've learned to address it now is I'm just honest, and you probably get a sense of what that would be like with Jaden. But it's like I'm like, no, that doesn't work for me right now. I'm not saying, and this is exactly what I told. I said I'm not saying it would never work for me. I'm saying right now it does not work for me, and I've been there, done that, and it's like you get these level of tangles as soon as you get into a marriage, the marriage vows, and stepping into a husband and a wife role. You take on all the programming about what a husband is and all the programming about what a wife is, and that gets added to the pile. It's like, bleh. Anybody ever get married and you notice that before you were married it seemed cleaner?
Yeah.
And as soon as after you're married it just got complicated for no reason at all?
Yes.
You're the
Totally
same people, but for
changed.
some reason
The
it's
Totally.
totally changed.
Yes, completely different.
because
Yes.
that agreement, and they're smart. They not only have you do it religiously, they have you do it contractually, legally. They're binding you to these vows of what a husband and a wife is. And part of the thing they don't like about the gay relationship thing is it doesn't fit into that. As a matter of fact, it tears apart the fabric of that programming about what husband and wife is. And so it starts to chew away at the fabric of that program, the constructs.
Wow.
Yeah. So what are all the agreements that you've bound yourself into if you've been married before around being a husband, around being a wife? What are the other terms that are there?
Significant other.
Significant other, but those
Better
are less
half.
Contractual.
Vows.
Oh,
Yeah,
to me,
what are
it
all the
was something
vowels?
about the ring.
The ring. Oh,
Something
fuck,
about the ring
Yep. What is everything about the ring?
that sends you into a ring.
Wow.
There's also the religious component.
And all of the religious elements. Yeah.
Till death do us part.
Till death do you part. It's so delightful. You're stuck with this person to the end of time. How wonderful!
God.
All in the pile. All in the pile. Encapsulate. The body planet, let that go. Not you, not yours. Not you, not yours. Never was yours, never was yours, never was yours. And what is all the unknowable, unspeakable, unseeable, untouchable, undetectable, unconsciousness, anti-consciousness, energy fog, disinformation, cloaking, Wernicke commands, booby traps, covert, unseen, unacknowledged, undisclosed energy and frequencies around this? Whoa. Wow. All in the pile? Wow. And what is everything we decided that marriage vows and contracts and religious agreements means that it doesn't actually mean? Wow. And in the pile? Wow. And what is everything that you decided that it doesn't mean that it actually does mean? But it wants to tangle my body into a knot. And all in the pile? And everything from down below and back behind and up above, way out front, from the left, from the right, inside, outside, everything remaining, body, planet, let that go, not you, not yours, not you, never was yours, never was yours, let it go, let it go, let it go. And can we shrink all that stuff down to less than that?
Right?
Yes.
Yes, I choose that.
Deep breath. Resend book, you can't reclaim vapor. Think about it. Out. And what are all the networks, hives, civilizations, universes, all their customers, clients, shareholders, stockholders, board of directors, pre-tag, print caps, and all their networks, hives, civilizations, universes, all their customers, clients, shareholders, stockholders, board of directors, pre-tag, print caps, free step down, trace, scan, IDL. Wow. And what is everything we and the planet agreed we do for them, they agreed they would do for us? Was the benefit of value engaging them, not the benefit of value? Can we just try and create all that?
Yeah,
I guess
we choose that now.
You can't reclaim vaporize, null void, null void, null void. And can we banish all these energies and all of the?
Yes, I choose that.
We
Yeah.
choose that.
Out. Banish everything. Out. Banish everything. Out. Banish everything. Out. Banish everything. Out. I love a rolly chair. Out. Banish everything. Of course, I almost rolled my computer onto the floor, but that's part of the fun of it. Out! Banish anchors, banish anchors, banish anchors. Resend, revoke, recant, reclaim, renounce, destroy, and create. Null and void, null and void, null and void, null and void. Sovereign being, sovereign body. Free will, universe, vaporize, signify, vaporize, signify, vaporize, signify.
Nice.
Wow.
Jaden, did we do vows and contracts around this? I'm sorry.
Yeah, we did not. So what are all the remaining oaths, vows, commitments, communities, fealties, swearings, promises, agreements, contracts around marriage, wedding, relationship, till death do you part, any of those kinds of, any agreements you've ever made across all time, space, dimensions, reality, all parallels, all virtual realities, all simulations, all time streams, timelines. Wow. And all the entry, exit, re-entry agreements, all the divine, golden, billion, trillion year agreements, all the safety clauses, protection clauses. Wow. And all the allegiances, alliances, loyalties, diplomatic relations. And can we destroy and create all that stuff?
Yes, I choose.
Yes,
Do that now.
Resend, revoke, recant, reclaim, renounce, denounce, destroy, and create, make, null, void, 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 null, void. And what are all the binds, double binds, triple binds, quadruple binds, binds to infinitum, auto install, reinstall, backup systems, technologies, magics, anchors, signatories around all this stuff? Wow. Can we destroy and create all of that stuff?
Yes, I choose
I
that.
choose that. Resend, revoke,
Yes, I
recant,
choose
reclaim,
that.
vaporize, signify, null, void, null, void, null, void, null, void, null, void, null, void, null, void.
No boy, no
No
boy.
way, no way, no way. And I'm sure there are no programs around this, so we won't even bother looking there.
Let's do
So,
it.
yeah! So what are all the programs that we have around sex, relationship, marriage?
Yeah.
Wow.
Dang.
Romance,
Romance.
fantasies.
Yeah, all that up on the screen. All the programs,
Free lock.
all the roles, the way a boyfriend should be, a girlfriend should be, a husband should be, a wife should be. All.
I think we
up on
also
the
need to
screen.
include being single.
Yeah. So
Free lock.
how do? What do you? I'm not sure what angle you're talking about here. How does that roll? Well, give
And
me
I
something
messed
to
it
work
up.
with
I'm
here.
sorry.
Give me something to work with here.
Give me something to work with here. What I was saying is the dichotomy between being single and being in a relationship, and how they work against. It's like the opposite piece. It's that.
It's another polarity.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep. Let me look at that separate too. But anything
Free lock.
everything that's up around that, all the programs around
Yep.
that.
Free lock.
Let me write that down. Polarity in relationship, not in. Like I remember before I explored and did all this stuff. Like anytime I'd see two people walking down the street holding hands or kissing in public or like cuddling with each other, I'd be like, I want that. And now it's just like,
Sucker.
hey, you keep that. Like, it's like, got it. I mean, some of them you can feel it's just neutral and it just feels good, and it's
Yeah.
like, yeah, you go.
Sweet.
And then the
Yeah.
other ones, it's like, okay, thank you, bye bye. But it, yeah, where is? I'm sorry, I got distracted here. What the fuck are you doing? Programs. So what
Yeah,
other
that's
programs
free lock.
above this? Programs are down below.
Sorry.
And back behind. No, I did that myself. From the left to the right. All the programs from inside. Oh wow.
Yes.
Wow.
Inside. We need
All
a couple of
outside,
sweets on
everything
that.
remaining. All the programs from
Yes.
in the planet.
Ooh, ugh.
Oof.
That is disgusting.
Yeah.
Freeze lock.
Wow. Freeze lock. Wow. And so all intercessions exterminate here now.
All
All
intercessions.
intercessions exterminate
Here
All
now.
intercommunications exterminate here now.
All
All
intercommunications.
communications exterminate here now.
All interconnections exterminate here now.
All interconnections.
Exterminate here now.
All programs terminate here now.
All programs terminate here now.
Here now.
All programs exterminate here now.
All
programs
programs
exterminate
exterminate
here
here
now.
now.
Exterminate here
All
now.
machines terminate here now.
All machines terminate here now.
Terminate here now.
And all machines exterminate here now.
All machines exterminate here now.
Exterminate here now.
Wow. And anything
Holy
remaining,
mackerel.
like I feel a lot of machines, bulldoze that in the pile.
Yeah.
And Body Planet, let that stuff go. Not you, not yours, never was yours, never was yours, never was yours, never was yours. And can we shrink all that stuff down to less than nothing?
Yes, I choose
Yeah, I choose
that.
that. And vaporize. Percent vocal chemical vaporizing by no boy, no boy, no boy, no boy, no. And what are all the entities, demonic creatures, coalition? And I wanted to stick this in. It's like, so what you do is you get like a point of view about something, and then you get a little emotion around that, and then an invader moves in, and then you got a package of things. And then that invader and that point of view and that emotion starts to bring in more stuff, and more stuff, and more stuff. And it gets bigger, and then they bring in their friends. And then more stuff and more stuff. And it's like you're building a bigger house for invaders to live in, and then more weird shit moves in, and then more shit and more shit, and it gets bigger and bigger and bigger. So it's like those are the layers of things, and it starts with the points of view, the agreements, and then getting rid of the manipulators. So what are all the remaining entities, demons, creatures, coalition, aliens, reptilians, parasitic beings, doing gods, the non-contributive energies and frequencies around all this, pre-tag, pre-caps, all their networks, hives, civilizations, universes, all their customers, clients, shareholders, stockholders, board of directors. Wow. And can we banish all these energies?
Yes,
I choose that.
Out. And everything that we agreed we'd do for them, we and the planet agreed we'd do for them, they agreed they'd do for us, was the benefit of engaging, not the benefit of value. Wow. And can we destroy and create all that stuff?
Yes, I choose that.
You can't reclaim vaporize, by vaporize, by no blade. And out. Bash, out.
Planet.
Yikes.
Wow. Get quieter.
Yeah.
I love it.
Not today.
I just love you.
And so what else do you want to play with?
I have a question.
Yeah.
So when you were talking about how the demons can come into your fantasy, how about everyone saying, "Oh, write a list of what you want in a man"? What do you think of those lists? And do the demons or whatever go in there to manipulate when you write out what you want in a man?
Demons are an expression of polarity.
Okay. Well, or whatever interference.
So the concept is that the demons add weight to polarity, to the one side of polarity. So in order for a demon to move in, you have to have enough bulk of polarity on the negative side or on the heavy side for it to call it home. But to answer your question on a bigger level, like that's just kind of the way it works here. Like, ask your question again. I dropped something.
Well, I guess the list. So
the list. Thank you. Yeah.
So
I agree with the concept of the list. And when I'm working with clients who are working on relationship stuff and they're looking to consciously create a relationship, I actually will work with them to create that list and to clear the list. So you want to write a list and you want to look for things that are your local point of view, and you want to sift out, filter out all the, well, I want somebody who'll be with me till death do we part, to love, honor, and cherish, and I can wear my tiara, and it'll be really fun. Yeah, like you want to get all this stupid crap out. You want to really clean up that list. So it's like, look, I need somebody who's going to be nurturing and conscious to the best of their abilities, is going to keep working on improving themselves, wants to keep working towards improving this relationship. Like you want the essence of what would make it a juicy relationship for you, and you want one that works for you, period. For you. Let them worry about what works for them, because you're going to help them with their stuff too, because that's what you're going to do. But you focus on you. And then that is what you put out to the universe. That's how you stack the deck in the random numbers game, is by asking questions. Okay, body, universe, planet. What awareness, energy, and frequency can I be? Like, what energy can I download that would allow me to attract a partner who is da 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 da, and receive to my own
Receive.
And when I receive that, I'm downloading the energy that's going to draw to me the person. And I'm not saying the one, but the person who I'm going to explore with first. And I also want to say that my interesting point of view is relationships are about learning. If you're looking for the one and you're trying to find the shortest path to finding the one, like, I should be able to do it with, like, meeting 3 people. The level of relationship is not going to be the same as after you've been in relationship with 50 people and you're like, man, I know the dance now and I know what I want. So it's like, it's a skill that comes with practice. The more you engage relationships, the more you engage other people and you practice the dance and clean up the crap in your reality. In the beginning, you're like, oh, I want this, and this is the way this should be. And then down the road, you're like, yeah, none of that's really important. This is important, and this is important, and this is important. Like, it's the experience of, to me, relationship is about experience. It's not an end goal. It's a process, not a process. It's an experience. To me, relationship is experiential. So, to me, the big lie in this reality is it's about finding the one that you're going to be with till death do you part, forever and ever and ever again, and it's going to be wonderful. That's the lie. When the truth is, it's an exploration of learning about you and your body and others and this reality and how polarity works and how energies work and how all this stuff works, and keep clearing and exploring and clearing and exploring, clearing and exploring. And as you hone and refine and hone and refine, what you're looking for keeps changing, because as you go through your life, like, what you were looking for when you're 18 is not the same as when you're 70. Like, they're just not the same. And so in those, what are you looking for now? Okay, so there's a time in my life where I was looking for just a sexual relationship. I wanted to explore that. That was a window in my life. And by the way, that's a very guy thing. Women rarely have that. And I can't say rarely. It's not as common in women to have that focus. So if you think that, I don't really have that, why? What's wrong with me? It's a guy thing more than a women thing. There's definitely a built-in play. Doesn't mean you can't. Doesn't mean that there aren't women who explore that, but there's definitely a higher percentage of men who explore that than women. Women are naturally more about intimacy and exploring the connections and about the relations and all of this stuff. Guys are more about sex. And it kind of meets in the middle somewhere, hopefully. It doesn't always, but it's like, so what is it you're looking for now? And when you look at relationship more as a plaything and a growing thing, like, it's, to me, relationship is a tool of evolvement and growing and learning about me. To me, that's what relationship is about. That's my interesting point of view. What does that bring up for y'all?
Well, it just seems like it seems like I'm just changing so fast to where it's like, wait a minute, who am I? Like, okay, do I still like that? Like,
yeah,
it's just changing so fast. So it's like, how do I can't even really fathom being in a relationship because the change is so rapid right now. The expansion is so rapid.
So
it's like,
So let's go back to the first question. So, Truth, how much does your body desire a nurturing sexual relationship? All right, let's go. Let me break it down into sex and just relationship. So, how much does your body? So, truth. How much does your body desire a sexual connection of some kind, a nurturing sexual connection of some kind? How much does your body desire something else?
She would like some sexual relationship or something.
Okay, there's a tangle in there.
And yes.
Yeah. Say the other one.
She would like I forgot what the other one was.
Something else.
Yeah, something else.
So how much does she require a sexual connection with somebody? So some of that is also, I'm defining it generically.
Yeah.
Like your definition is going to be very precise to you as to what that looks like.
Mm-hmm.
But something.
But I see where you are with the something else. It's like it feels like the something else is like the what else is possible.
Okay. Yeah.
To me,
yeah.
it doesn't feel like traditional. That seems like that's done, and it seems like something else.
So does somebody else have a way of defining what the sexual thing might be that we might be looking for? Because every time I try to define it, it just gets kind of nebulous, and I'm not sure if I'm missing something or if it's just going to be different for everybody.
What about connection?
Sexual connection?
A sexual connection or sexual expression?
So, sexual expression. So
to be able to sexually express yourself beyond this reality. What would that look like?
Yep, I used to use that phrase all the time, sexual expression. So, so how much is your body looking for a sexual expression?
Receive.
How much is your body looking for something else? Let me break that down even further. How much is your body looking for a sexual expression with another person? How much is your body looking for something else? I can tell you in this group, there's a lot of something else there.
Yeah.
How much is your body looking for a sexual expression with yourself? Like the two of you being in body, a sexual expression with being in body?
Receive.
How much is your body looking for something else?
Mine's asking for something else.
Okay. That varies in the group. There's also heaviness around that. We didn't clear points of view around.
No, we didn't. Can we do that?
Do you want to go there?
Yes, please.
Okay. Let's go there. Okay, so what are all the points of view that you have around masturbating or having sex, exploring sex with yourself? And so let me define that a little bit more. So let me speak for me. I can't speak for y'all. I can only speak for my weird life. A lot of my weird life has been so you can have body having sex with itself. So it's like body masturbating itself. You can have being masturbating body. Okay, do you see the difference there? Being is the one that's actively in charge. It's a different way of thinking about it, but okay. And then you can have another non-physical entity involved. And in Jaden's reality, he had a lot of non-physical entities that he had sex with during masturbation. And I will go as far as in like the depth of exploration that I've done sexually is, it's big. Let's just say there's very little I have not tried, including being sexual with another person, and in the act of intercourse, she's channeling some entity and I'm channeling some entity. Like, so it's not only being in body and being in body, it's something else and something else. And even stacks of something else. And civilizational focuses and, you can have sex with the planet. If you've never tried to have sex with the planet, that's an interesting one too. Masturbate with the planet. That if you want something that's a little bit on the less risque side, like there's a lot of let's now that, so what is all the unknowable, unspeakable, unseeable, untouchable, undetectable, unconsciousness, anti-consciousness, energy fog, disinformation cloaking, Wernicke's command, booby traps, covert, unseen, unacknowledged, undisclosed energy frequencies around us? Whew. And in the pile. Wow. Embody planet, let that go. Not you, not yours, not you, not yours. Let it go, let it go. Encapsulate. Wow. And everything from down below, and back behind, and up above, way out front. I'm going to add,
right there.
What is everything you decided that masturbating means that it doesn't mean? Whew. And the pile. Wow. And what is everything you decided masturbating doesn't mean that it actually does mean? And I kind of alluded to some of those in the pile. And everything from down below, back behind, up above, way up front, left, right, inside, outside, everything remaining all in the pile. And body planet, let that stuff go. Not you, not yours, not you, not you, not you, yours. Let it go, 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 let it go. And can we shrink all that stuff down to less than nothing?
Yes, I
Yep,
choose that now.
Incinerate. I'll stick this in there just for added exploration value, and then we'll go digging more.
Pun intended.
There are beings that use sexual intercourse to bring energies across domains. So they'll get you, the infinite being, and the Palladians are one that like to do this. I've just noticed this from personal experience. And they have this point of view. They see sex and copulation. Now, they see sex and intercourse as an exchange of data that they are very interested in, and that they're very keen to participate in the transfer of data. So they see you as a modem or a router that's connecting with another modem and router, and they connect you, the infinite being, up to a certain packet of information that they want to transfer through sexual intercourse to the other person, that goes to their infinite being, to their dimension, to their reality, for that purpose. So allow yourself to perceive all the times you've had intercourse where you were being used for data transfer.
Receive.
Allow yourself to perceive all the times where you're participating your sexual relation with another, intercourse with another person, and it was actually you were having sex with other entities and not that person. And you're like, man, that guy was so weird, and you make yourself wrong for thinking that guy was so weird when you weren't having sex with him. It was really actually weird. Sex with something that was really fucking weird. You're having sex. So, truth, how often have you had sex with aliens?
Receive.
Oh, God.
Yeah. I've had it a lot.
Thanks, Jaden.
I'll admit it. I've had sex with aliens. A lot. And I've liked some of it. Not a lot of it, but I've liked some of it. And how often so everything that all that brought up, can we put that in the pile?
Yes, I choose that.
I'm like, I can't breathe. Okay, so we need so how often have you, there's just too much up. So what is all the unknowable, unspeakable, unseeable, untouchable, undetectable, unconsciousness, anti-consciousness, energy fog, disinformation, cloaking, Wernicke's commands, booby traps, covert, unseen, unacknowledged, undisclosed energy and frequency around all this? Whoa! In the pile! Yay!
In the pile.
And everything from down below, back behind, up above, way up front, left, right, inside, outside, everything remaining. Body, planet, let that go. Not you, not yours, not you, not yours. Never was yours, never was yours. Let it go, 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 let it go. Blah. And can we shrink all that down to less than nothing?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's how I choose that.
Vaporize. You send local clan vaporize. Nobody. Out. Bash. Wow. Yeah, what are all the entities, demons, creatures, coalition, aliens, reptilians, parasitics, beings, doings, gods, other non-contributive energies and frequencies, pre-tag, pre-encapsulate all, free, step down, trace, share, scan, all their networks, hives, civilizations, universes, all their customers, clients, shareholders, stockholders, board of directors, pre-tag, pre-encapsulate all, free, step down, trace, share, scan, was everything we and the planet agreed we'd do for them, they agreed they would do for us, was the benefit of value, not the benefit of value? Can we just try and create all that?
Yes, I
Yes,
do.
I do.
Send a book, you can't reclaim, vaporize, sick by nobody. And can we banish all these energies?
Yes, I choose
Yes, I
that.
choose that.
Out, banish, expand. Out, banish,
Oh,
Wow. Wow. So, allow yourself to perceive. So, truth, how often, of the times you've masturbated in your life, and I'm sure there's somebody who's like, oh, I've never masturbated, I never have. Right? All the polarity around what is all the polarity we have around masturbating? Wherever you're aligning and agreeing with it, resisting and reacting to it, defending for, defending against, righteous for, righteous against. And can we put all that in the pile?
Yes, I
I
choose
choose
that.
that.
Wow. And everything from down below, back behind, above, way up front, left, right, inside, outside. And can we shrink that down to listen?
That's funny.
Somebody's gone out. Let me see if it's funny. There's times where, and this is a joke I have with myself. It's like when we get into big clearing, it's like sometimes it gets really quiet in the group, and I'm like, yeah. So how many people are unconscious on the floor? Like that's the first time I've ever heard it that obvious, but I love it. Yeah. Been there, done that. How often have you listened to a recording of clearing and you fall asleep? Anybody else?
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
Yep. And it's not because there's
That's hilarious.
not much going on. It's because there's so much going on. Yeah.
So much going on.
So much. So, truth, how often have you had sex? So, how often have you masturbated? How often have you masturbated? How often has your body masturbated itself?
Receive.
How often has being masturbated body?
Receive.
How often have you masturbated with some other entity of some kind?
Receive.
And how much has it been something else?
Receive.
And what do you notice?
A lot of entity stuff.
Yeah, a lot more entity stuff than I anticipated.
Yep. And so, before you make yourself wrong about this,
Thank you.
all in the pile, everything, all that is all in the pile.
All the
So,
pile.
allow yourself to perceive the best sexual experience you've ever had, and how much of that was sex with just bodies and beings, and how much of that was sex with other entities or aliens of some kind. And what do you notice?
B.
Right?
Yep. So that's been my experience. It's fascinating. Like I can experience a space of having long time and not being horny or aroused anymore as I gotten older. It's just less of an issue for me. And then like I'll feel it, and now that I'm more aware of entities, I'll like feel it, and then I'll just I'll be graphic for a moment. I just reach down to my penis and I'll grab some entity that's like at the tip of my penis. I'll grab it and I'll throw it out of the universe. All of a sudden, I am not horny at all. I have no interest in sex.
Wow. Oh
How
my
much
God.
Wow.
does your sexual arousal come from your local body system or your local being? How much does your arousal come from someone else, another human of some kind? And how much does it come from something else?
Oh, that's fascinating.
Wow.
Interesting, huh? When I explore the fabric of stuff and the connections of things, and I go back to the origin of some of the religions and their sex negative programming, a lot of what they were perceiving way back when, before they were highly corrupted, which almost all of them are highly corrupted now, is they were perceiving that a lot of there were a lot of beings that were drawn to the sexual experience, and a lot of beings are involved in for and against having sex, and they realize that you're safer in terms of not engaging aliens or these other energies if you don't engage sex. And I would totally agree with that. Personally, having explored the paradigm, and to give you a sense of, I have taken more drugs than I can count and had sex with people and entities, or had sex with people in a way where we were deliberately seeking to engage an assortment of entities in a series. And it does, if my interesting point of view, and I'm not necessarily suggesting it or saying it's a good or right, I don't have a point of view about, I'm not pushing that. I'm just saying, if you want to explore sexual energies, there's a lot of juice that gets created around being in an open space where you're not repelling entities, but you're choosing which entities you're engaging, and you're consciously engaging entities for a sexual exploration. There is, when the Palladians talk about that, there's energy transference that occurs from one reality, one realm, to another reality, another realm. There's something about that. I'm not saying it's the only thing, but there's more to this picture than meets the eye, and you probably have a sense of that by now.
Yeah, a little bit.
Just a little bit. Now you'll be like terrified. I am never having sex again for any reason whatsoever. But it's like, for me, all of these things are like, consciously I go in and I know whether I'm exploring with drugs or sex or relationships or anything, just going to a new supermarket. It's like, I know I'm going to bump into weird shit, and I'm going to stay aware of what is that weird shit. Okay, out. What are all the invaders here that are not to my advantage? Out. And I'm going to engage it consciously. Yeah. So for me, the bottom line is being sexual with another person involves a lot of other things, a lot of other energies, and as long as you're being conscious of that and aware of that, and you're engaging that, and you're not necessarily going to be conscious 24/7 through the whole experience, but at least afterwards you're like, okay, what was all the weird shit there that we can clear? And it's like, find some level of engagement around that. To me, sex and relationships is about choosing to engage the diversity of things that are on this planet and explore with them energetically. And,
can you give an... Oh, I'm sorry, I interrupted.
Yep. And it's a process. It's a thing where it's not about an end result. It's about an exploration, and about doing it in a way that's playful and fun for you and your body. And so this is how sex, for me, has been fun. Body likes this certain aspect of the intimacy and of the tactile, sensual elements. Body also likes some of the clearing stuff. Like, body has this polarity clearing, I notice my body does it, where it's like it can feel the other person's body's got some weird point of view, and it'll play in the juice of their point of view to release it. I'm not sure if anybody else ever do that. Like your body will play with the other body's polarity and release that as like juice, as like a positive thing.
Not quite in that way, but
Okay.
more I feel the body's resonating and doing things that I'm not consciously controlling.
Yeah, and it's like, what are those? And it's like being the witness to, well, how is body having fun here? How is body playing here? What is body playing with? Like, and my body plays with polarity with other bodies. While I'm busy doing whatever I'm doing and all the other things, like bodies play. So there's the body play, and I'm not saying your body does that, but like that's one of the things I witnessed my body do. But it's like, well, how can you witness what your body does? Receive. And so there's that part of play that bodies have, the sensual element, and then the being. It's like, well, like y'all like exploring all this weird ass shit and playing in it, right? Like,
yep.
Hey, sex is about weird ass shit. I'm here to tell you, go play. It gives something for body and being to go play at. But if being doesn't understand what's involved, it's just a mind fuck. You're like, what the fuck was that? That was so tangled and distorted, and I thought that was going to be good. And then you tangle yourself in the knot, and then the other entities move in, and they're like, yeah, this sucks. You don't want to be doing relationships. Yeah, I don't want to be doing relationships. Yeah, I don't ever want to get, it's like, it just tangles and tangles and tangles. But it's like, if you can go at it with an aware and conscious, okay, let's play. And I'm not just playing with this other person. I'm by default playing with all the players that play with this person. And they're playing with the players that play with me. And I wonder what that's going to do. Right? It's like you look at it more from a play, fun exploration of things, and it takes everything to another level.
So should we put like an alien and entity clearing on low?
I've done that. I've totally done that. I did that for years, actually. And honestly, that's how I figured it out. Is I noticed that times when I had that running, it wasn't as good as times when I didn't have that running.
Wow.
And I'm like,
Really?
Wow.
wait a minute, what is that? And I didn't want to see it. It took me years to see that. Literally, it took me years to see that. It's took me years to, just recently, maybe a year ago with Max, I kind of came to this. We did a recording about this. It touched on some of these same points, didn't go as deep, but.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah, but about the entities, sex with entities thing. And like, that's when I finally admitted it to myself. I'm like, oh, right. Yet I was doing it consciously for years with partners. Years. And just to be blunt, Tantra is, their focus is around having sex with, they all have different words, but like, you're communing with the universe, you're communing with all that is, you're communing with blah, 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 or whatever paradigm they're in. Like, it is a container for conscious co-creation. In the beginning, I said, if you want somebody who's more advanced sexually, you want to engage somebody with Tantra, now you see more of what that involves. They're more conscious. They may not be mental. They may not mentally have a fucking clue about it, but they're energetically aware that they're engaging more energies, and they're seeking to do that. So if you're looking for the juice, and man, there is juice there. I'm here to tell you there's juice there. There's a lot of juice there. Whew.
Is it organic?
Some of it's organic, some of it's inorganic. There's a lot of juice there. And it's interesting until it's not interesting anymore. And it may or may not be interesting for you personally or for your body. For my body, way back then, it was very interesting. Now, it's like, okay, been there, done that. Not interested. But so what is everything that's up or active? I'll come right back to you. I just want to do the grabbing. And what is all the unknowable, unspeakable, unseeable, untouchable, undetectable, unconsciousness, anti-consciousness, energy fog, disinformation, cloaking, Wernicke's man, booby traps, covert, unseen, unacknowledged, undisclosed energy frequencies around all this? And put all that in the pile? Wow.
Yes, I
Capsite,
choose.
and everything from down below, and back behind, up above, way out front, and from the left, and from the right, inside, outside, everything remaining, all in the pile. Body, planet, let that go, not you, not yours. You, not yours, never was yours, never was yours, never was yours. Let it go, 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 let it go. Wow. And can we shrink all that stuff down to less than nothing?
Yes.
Yes, I choose
I
that.
choose that. Boo. Incinerate. Look at the time. Okay, so I'll do a wrap-up clearing, but are there any burning questions that, like, if you don't get this asked, you're just going to be haunted for days by it?
No, go ahead.
What do you got on?
I have two, but we can, whatever you think, I don't know. The first one is, as a woman, like you said, that men are more often like being, I don't know the word that you use, but maybe they're trying sex without commitment. You used a different expression though. I'm wondering how as women we would do that, because it doesn't feel right to me, but you said maybe, I don't know, maybe I need to do a personal session on this because this feels very heavy to me.
Well, no, the
I
concept,
wanted
don't get me wrong, being a guy and in a guy body, the exploration with sexuality was part of my masculine thing, and actually a lot of my partners were men. Just to tangle that even more, it's like, because it's easier men getting together for sex. I mean, I don't know if those who are in the gay world understand this. Men get together socially for sex. It's a social experience. Other people go to a coffee shop. Gay men get together to have sex. Not all gay men, true. Not all, but it's like it's not an unnatural thing for gay men to do that. It's how gay men meet each other. It's a manner of intimacy. You go to the coffee shop. What do you get to know about a person? Whatever mask they show up with. You have sex with the person. What do you get to know about a person? A lot more. So for me, that was like, I couldn't stand the whole dating process. It was arduous to me. Females who were not interested in the dating process, that I could, or who liked starting being intimate, that worked for me. And many guys are like that. So it's just to understand, guys are wired. So guys are wired. One way I've heard it, and this is limitation, but guys are wired from the genitals to connect to their heart. Women are wired from their heart to connect to their genitals.
Yeah.
And ideally, when that comes together, the masculine invites the feminine to their genitals, and the feminine invites the masculine to their heart.
Oh, that's so opposite of what we're taught, that like if you have sex first, which I guess. And
I'm not saying that's right or wrong. I'm just that's.
I know.
That's the masculine perspective on sex. The feminine perspective on sex is more around not sex at all. It's more around cuddling and being intimate and nurturing and holding and sharing. And in that space, if it reaches a certain crescendo, then sex is a natural way to continue that to a higher level. But like, you don't ever think to start there. That the most many and this is this is a male viewpoint of somebody who studied sexuality. I can't speak as a woman, although I can't. I've had female entities who told me a lot, but that's another story.
That's awesome.
But that's my interesting perspective about the male-female thing. And you take what's light for you. I don't want to impress anything upon your reality. Take what's light for you.
No, this is helpful. I probably need to do a session because there's a lot of stuff around it.
Or we need to go deeper with as a group. Like this is just breaking the surface here. Like this is the first time I've gotten the whole sexual paradigm out in one 2-hour call. and barely.
No,
watch
it's
it,
cool. We like
If you're
it.
open, I'd love to do it now.
Yeah.
Sex? Sure. Yeah. I could clear off the couch. I'm joking. They're like, what? What are we talking about?
That was awesome.
That's the guy point of view, right?
That was great. I love it. That was great. I loved it.
Thank you. So we definitely can continue this and go deeper, but I wanted to get the whole picture, because when you can see the whole picture, you're like,
Yes.
oh, that's what, like, nothing makes sense. In my reality, nothing made sense till I saw the whole picture of this. And then it's like, fuck. Okay, now you know why they say fuck. Like,
Oh my God.
there's a lot going on there. Wow, okay. And then the whole, pregnancy, and then all the other pieces are just another element that ramps into all that. We haven't even talked about that. One's obvious, but all the rest of the stuff is not. But let's go deeper with this if you want. It won't be.
Yes. Yes,
probably,
I choose that.
Yeah, okay. So it won't be next week, but we'll put that on the list. So anybody else have a burning question that absolutely needs to be answered this call, or you won't be complete?
Well, Jaden, I feel like can we do one more entity clearing?
Oh, we're
I just
definitely
feel
going to do a final clearing of that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's all sitting here.
Yep.
And
They're
a lot
friends.
of it's going, no fucking way, no, none of this. Like, okay.
And here's, I love the paradox of, here's the guy who comes on the planet and says, or puts himself out there and says, it's about banishing all this shit from your reality. And then he goes, turns it around and says that the most cool sex he's ever had is with these entities.
Yes, it's hilarious.
Full disclosure. Full disclosure. And there is that paradox there. Totally. And I live in that paradox, that there is a benefit there. And that's where I come back to your local advantage. So to this day, I'm open to having sex. I'm hesitant, but open to having sex deliberately with entities, aliens, blah, blah, blah. I've done for years. But it's like, it's not so much interesting, but if I can find something that's interesting, that is going to work, that I can use to my advantage, and it may not show up to my advantage, but the concept is that I can use to my advantage, I'm still game to go there. I don't find a lot, and I'm very quick to filter out the stuff that when I scan it, there's just nowhere I can use that to my advantage. There's some things where it's like, yeah, it's mostly not to my advantage, but there's some there. I'll surf that. I'll play with that. But just recognize that's the dance that you play with that.
Can you give an example of
asking a question?
Can you give an example of what? And then I'll come
how
back
to unconsciously engage the way that you're saying? I don't know if I understand that part.
So it's
to consciously engage.
So we're just opening the door to perception.
Okay.
So once you can perceive, once you're open to perceiving it, you'll start to notice more. And you don't necessarily notice it in the moment. You might notice it afterwards. You're like, well, that was kind of different, or that was weird. What was that? And then you start asking questions. Was it this? Was it that? Was it entity? Oh yeah, I was having sex with an entity. Okay, yeah, okay, got it. Okay, and you start to become more aware of that stuff. The way you engage it consciously is, like, I'll feel energy. Like I'll get into an erotic energy, or I'll feel an erotic energy. And I've just learned more often than not, I don't initiate the erotic energies in my life, and I made myself wrong for that for the longest time. Like, my partners bring the erotic energy into my space, and then I join them in it. Entities bring erotic energy into my space, and then I join them in it. So when I'm feeling erotic, my question is, do these energies feel like I can use them to my advantage? If there's a no, and I mean, like, there's always a no, but it's like, are there energies that just totally are not to my advantage? Oh, okay. The remaining ones, can I use some of this to my advantage? Yeah, it could be interesting. Okay, then I just let it go, and I just let it be, and I let it do the dance that it does.
Okay.
So you can set up an intention that before I meet this partner, whatever, I'm only going to engage energies with this partner that are to my local advantage, or that I can somehow turn to my local advantage. That's the way that you can set that up in advance. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Miriam, did you have something?
No, someone had started asking a question, a
somebody
burning
else
question.
Said it. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Who else had the burning question?
All right.
Everybody's on the floor unconscious.
Great guys.
By the way, this is one of those calls you're going to listen to multiple times. I can feel there's layers. There's layers in here. Like I can tell when I'm talking in layers. There's a feeling that I have in my body, and there's been many, 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 many layers that I've been talking in today because I've not had a chance to talk in these layers before. With a group. So, you'll want to listen to it.
Yeah,
you'll hear lots of things. Yeah.
Yeah, really compacted.
Yeah. And you're going to find it brings up shit. I want to say the bottom line, anywhere you're making yourself wrong over stuff, wrong is heavy. Mm-hmm. It's a lie. So just shit. Where's everywhere you're making yourself wrong around sex, sexuality, or relationships?
Ooh.
Wow. And can we put all that in the pile?
Yes,
I choose that.
Capsule. And what is everything that is been stirred up or active as a result of any of the topics we've engaged today?
Yeah. Yep.
Whoa. Hi there, for us and the planet. And can we put all that in the pile?
Yes, I choose that.
Choose it.
Those are in the pile, and everything, everything from down below, back behind, up above, way up front, from the left, from the right, inside, outside, everything remaining, all in the pile. Body, planet, let this go, not you, not yours, never was yours, never was yours. Let it go, let it go, let it go, let it go, let it go. And can we shrink all that stuff down to less than nothing?
Yes.
Yes, I choose that.
Center it. Sure, a whole lot less entities than the first time we started doing this stuff. Wow! And what are all the remaining entities, demonic creatures, coalition aliens, reptilians, parasitics, beings, doings, gods, angels, light beings, archons, others, pre-tag, pre-caps, et al., free step down, trace, scanadial? What are all their networks, hives, civilizations, universes, and all their customers, clients, shareholders, stockholders, boards of directors, pre-tag, pre-caps, et al., free step down, trace, scanadial? Where we, the infinite beings, and all these energies were created, assembled, modified, gilded, sourced at their inception, insertion, creation, copy, clone, pre-tag, pre-encapsulate, freeze, top down, trace, scan, ideal. And was everything we in the planet agreed we do for them, they agreed that we do for us? What's the benefit of value of engaging them? Not the benefit of value of engaging? Can we just rank credit all that?
Yeah.
This is where somebody says, yes, I choose that.
Yes, I choose that.
Yes, I choose
Resend,
that.
revoke, you can't reclaim, renounce. I let a lot of people up there. Resend, revoke, you can't reclaim, vaporize, null, void, null, void, null, void. And can we banish all these energies?
Yes, I choose
Yes, I choose that.
Banish
Out,
out,
out, out.
banish
Small
out,
bodies,
out,
beings, reality,
banish out, out,
virtual reality, worlds, and
banish out,
out, banish, vanquish, out, banish, vanquish, out.
everything we agreed, they agreed was the benefit, not the benefit. Resend, revoke, you can't reclaim, vaporize, out, banish, banish, out, out. Wow. And so, what awareness, energy, and frequency can we? No, there's still something here I don't like. What is that? So, disguised memory class? Yeah, I don't want to get into. So, buddy, what's the most direct way to get from where we are now to where we're seeking to be? So, what is everything remaining that's upper active? Oh, so regular agreements, lineage agreements, secured agreements. Oh, shit. Okay. Yep. Secured agreements. So, what are the secured agreements we have around sex, sexuality, relationships, around masturbating, around not masturbating, around marriage,
dating,
around contracts, around what?
Dating.
Yep. So allow yourself to perceive all the secured agreements around those, or all the secured agreements, anything that feels impossible to change. That's the frequency of the secured agreement. Yeah. What are all the agreements that feel impossible to change? All of those
being respected.
up on the screen. Yep. Freeze lock. Freeze
Freeze
lock.
lock. Freeze lock.
Freeze lock, freeze
All the
lock,
agreements
freeze
from
lock.
down below. All the agreements from back behind.
Freeze
From above. From out front.
Okay,
From the
lock,
left.
freeze lock, freeze
The
lock.
right.
All the
Inside,
secured
outside,
agreements,
everything remaining.
inside,
And freeze
outside,
lock.
everything that remains.
And take a snapshot of how many agreements, or all the agreement holders there.
Secured agreements.
And then rotate them all so they're facing forward and lock them again. Just so you see them head on. Okay? And now let's expand. So allow yourself to connect to the authentic symbiotic planet as it actually is. And expand to bigger than the planet. I wonder if that's why I have such an intimate connection with the planet, because I've had sex with the planet. I don't know.
Oh my God.
You should try it sometime. It's interesting.
You're friends with benefits.
Exactly. Right. Yeah. And so expand to bigger than the universe, or bigger than the planet. I got distracted. Bigger than the solar system. In all directions, including down below. And down below that, down below that, down below that, down below that, all down below that. And expand out in front. Double that, double that, double that, double that.
Double that.
Expand back behind. Just go around all the weird shit. Back behind, expand back past it, and expand above that. There's like ceilings and stuff. Just go flow around it like water and go up. Wow. And everything blocking expansion, just put that in the pile. Everything from down below, back behind, left, right, inside, outside, everything remaining, everything blocking expansion or obstructing expansion anyway. And body planet, let that go, not you, not yours, not you, not yours. Can we shrink that down to less than nothing?
Yes, I choose that. Yes, I choose that.
Incinerate.
Incinerate, incinerate, incinerate.
Vaporize, and so now let's have to expand to bigger than the solar system. Bigger than the universe.
Directions.
And bigger than the multiverse. In all directions. Double that, double that, double that, double that. Including up, down. Way up front, back behind. Left, right, double. There you go. Yep. And expand to bigger than the Beyondiverse. Bigger than the infinite realms. And allow yourself to connect into your infinite being. And invite your body to connect into the infinite planet. And so from this space, what is everything that these agreements desire require to rectify, resolve, and release them? And perceive all those energies, ask them to amplify to precisely what is required, frequency match it to the recipients, stack it up like paperwork, hand it over to all the different agreement holders. Wow. And what is everything that these agreements desire require of you to embody or become more of to your local advantage? No. And sorry, I was trying to get rid of some of the kitchen noise. And allow yourself to ask those energies to amplify times a funzillion. Frequency match it to your local advantage. And receive it so it works for you. It works fully for you and receive to your advantage. So it just happens to fulfill the agreement, but it totally works for you. Or it fully works for you. The word totally does stupid things, so I can't use that word. And so what is everything remaining of these agreements desire require? It's just an energy they require in order to release. Perceive all those. Ask those energies to amplify to precisely what's required. Frequency match it to the recipient. Just coalesce all those energies, stack them up, hand them over. There you go. It got really quiet. And what is everything remaining that the remaining agreements desire require of you to embody or become more of as an infinite being? And perceive those energies, amplify it times a funzillion, so it's fun. Frequency match it to your advantage wholly, and receive to your advantage. And everything remaining these agreements desire require. Amplify, frequency match, stack up, hand over. And everything these agreements desire require of you to embody or become more of. Amplify, frequency match to your advantage, and receive to your advantage. And everything remaining in agreementville, can we just try and create all that?
Yes, I choose that.
Boo! Vaporize. That feels so much better. Wow.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, much better.
Wow. Cool. Okay. So what awareness, energy, and frequency can we in our bodies be to have fun, nurturing, and enjoyable sexual explorations to your advantage and receive? Whether you do them solo, whether you do them with another person, whether you do them with another entity. And so what awareness, energy, and frequency can you and your body be to have fun with sex and relationship to your local advantage? Like to use it in any way that's fun. If not having sex is more fun, then do that. Like there's no wrongness about it. If like you want to explore what's fun for you and your body and receive it to your advantage.
Receive.
And so I want to invite you to ask your body, what would you desire or require in terms of sex or relationships? And receive.
Receive.
And I want to invite you to not only give your body permission to communicate more clearly about that with you, but to take it to a level of like what I do with my body is, body, you need to be more clear with me about what you want relating to sex and relationships. So please be more vocal, be more clear, be more open. If you see somebody as we're walking along and you're like, wow, I want that. Like, you tell me that. I want to know that. Like, I don't care what it is. You tell me that. I want to know how you feel about it and what would bring you more pleasure and more fun and more sense of connection. And receive. So that's my suggestion is you have those kinds of conversations with your body, because a lot of the sex and a lot of the intimacy stuff is nurturing for body. And at certain times in your life, I'd say you require that. It's necessary. Other times it's like, whatever. And other times it's like, yeah, kinda, maybe, but it seems like too much work right now, so we'll skip it for now. We'll get it later. Like, so it's just kind of seeing really what's up for your body. And then being, how can you use sexuality and relationships to explore and expand way beyond anything you've ever explored and expanded before and receive to your advantage? Wow.
Whoa.
You feel it's possible there?
Yeah, that's nice.
Wow.
That's really nice.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's orgasmic.
Yeah. 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 And I have to say that a lot of the really profound, deep orgasmic things that I've explored have been around connecting with other people and other energies, and it took me into other worlds and other realities and opened me into spaces. I would have to say that a lot of who I am today is, and what I'm capable of doing and perceiving, has to do with that time in my life where I profoundly explored sexuality. And just feel the truth of that for Jaden. Like, and I'm not saying that's your path. That was Jaden's path. But if that feels exciting for both body and being, then maybe there's something to explore there. If body is like, oh, no, and being is like, don't need it, maybe that's not up for you to explore. And there's no wrongness about that. It's like, see what's true for you authentically and follow that.
Yeah.
That's your thing. Follow whatever's true for you. And anytime you find points of view about sex, relationships, just clear them. Don't wrestle with them. Don't get into polarity with it. Just fucking clear it, because there's truckloads of it. You'll be there forever unless you just clear everything. Just all that. Gone. Cool. Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jaden.
You guys are fearless. I love it.
Where are you going?
Yeah. It's a halftime break. Jaden's got to pee and eat breakfast.
I'll call you later.
Okay. Yeah. I'll clear off the couch.
Awesome.
Thank you, everybody. I love playing with you guys. It's so cool. I played with you on a totally other level today. It's so cool. Was it good for you?
Yes.
Yeah, you
Very
just wait till next week, buddy.
Oh, okay. I look forward to it then.
Hilarious. That was awesome, Jason.
Thank you.
Jaden, thank you so much.
You're so welcome. You're so welcome. Thank you, everybody.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.